Hello everybody, this is Justin of the Ottawa Expositor, and we're going into the 12th of March of 2015. And right now, I just took some footage and I figured I would share a bit more Quebec with you. And we'll just talk about a few things. I'm overnight here, so I'm just winding down, just thinking about what's going on. And I'm really starting to see some good things with this movement. It's pretty cool. So what this video is going to entail, I'm just going to chat about, some good things that I see, some suggestions that I'd like to make, and some conversations that I'd like to open. So along with that, we're actually going to see a good bit of symbolism as we progress into the video. I'm going to show you some really cool places, and you're even going to get a sneak peek into one of the places that's going to be the Occult City, Quebec. And we're going to have a couple episodes here for that. I love how the signs here, they're always like, for something that it's like loading or whatever, the signs are always about 10 times longer in French than they are in English. It's pretty sweet. And then you take a look here and you see things like McDonald's and all the signs. This is no McCafe, man. Like, that looks prim and proper. Over across the street here, we have an old Bank of Montreal. And as you can see here, those columns are pretty elaborate. This is a symbol that you see there with that veil that's on the side of it. You see that a lot in Quebec, and I'll show that to you as time passes. I have a feeling it has something to do with the Bible of the veil. But yep. This is Rue Saint-Jean, and yeah, this is McDonald's. It is, like, classy. McClassy. Ou McClasson. Mick de la classe. Yep. So, what I was seeing lately is I see a lot of people that are gaining momentum within. After having a lot of struggles, we're now taking a look at what we can do as a group and what we can do in teamwork or as individual efforts. And I saw that when we did the raid on Rebel Media. That was really cool. And before that, even before that, when we did the Twitter thing for the Ottawa hoax, we actually did a great job on that. We got out to a lot of people on that hashtag, how I remember. I saw that, and once it finally got censored, which it took a long time, just imagine watching those people at CBC scramble to try and get these taken off. You had a lot of people react to it, and it was really, I think it was very effective. And I think we should organize this a lot more now, because we have people that are able to see that we can definitely reach many people if we coordinate our efforts. That's pretty sweet. So continuing on, we're just going to go into a little side street here, and then my camera shut off now in about 1 second. I had to restart. But I'm still in the same place. As you can see here, that's that cafe where it shut off. Isn't it gorgeous? It's like, I mean, where else in North America do you see stuff like this? Maybe in, like, Mexico you'll get that kind of, like, historic stuff that's still standing, but maybe in Boston you'll get a bit, but, like, this is just through and through the old town. It's just so old, and it's really romantic. Like, just walking through these streets, like, it kind of touches your heart. There's a lot of history to it, too, here. Like, so much. It's really just, it's immense, the kind of things that you can find out about what happened here over the past 400-odd years. And walking through these side streets, it's kind of like where I'm from in St. John's, Newfoundland, but it's not so classy as what it's like here. I mean, this place is just incredible. As I'm not quite sure what this road is, but sometimes it's just fun to get lost in here. Like, I might not be able to find this street ever again. But yeah, And basically I'm heading towards the more religious place. It's to Notre Dame Cathedral. And as we walk in here now, this becomes more of what was church territory. I know that they've sold a lot off. Physically, they don't own a lot of the buildings. Like the place where I work was actually once owned by the Catholic Church as well. And it is no longer that. Yeah, this is a really interesting building, specifically because I don't know if you guys have followed too much about Occult City, or Our Occult City. It is a series that was started by Police State Radio, and it's just amazing to watch him go in and break down those churches, and I always wanted to do that with him. Along with the other places that he did, and we finally got to do that. Oh, here we go. If you like your symbolism, this one's for you guys. Figure out what that one is. We'll get into it as we go along, because I'm just starting to learn all these things now. But being able to see it now that I'm here in Quebec and other cities in the province, it's so crazy to see where it's everywhere. I mean, look at the symbol in the very center there. It's hard to get a focus on it, but you're going to see this everywhere, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show it to you again and again. They do kind of change it up a little bit there, but in essence, it remains the same. And you have the Sacred Heart with the sword going through it. This isn't really all that important to translate. But very pretty building, just like the rest. I mean, one part about Quebec, I mean, it could be completely owned by the Vatican at one point, or maybe now, you never know. But at the same time, they built this place to last, and they also built it to show off how beautiful they can make things, and they certainly succeeded. This is really a pleasure to be here, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around, but this is one place I'm so glad that I've had a chance to kind of really dig into the side streets and recognize its history, pick up its language, and start learning the history through its language. They have a very different accent in Quebec, for those who aren't aware, from the people who live in France. It's very, very different. Like, the vowels are extremely different sounding in many cases. Like, for example, for butter, for the word butter, like not margarine, but butter, the people from France would say du beurre, like but some people from Quebec, they can go even as far as like du bar. So it's like for an Anglophone, it's so different. But you start getting this, you start noticing in the Quebecois, it's from the same French from back when this was really colonized in the 16 and 1700s. And when there was a revolution in France, they actually dramatically changed the way that they spoke, because they killed the kings that control the language, and then they control the language on their own. Now, the Quebecois didn't really follow by that same precept, so they sound extremely different. Even the way that their tongue moves and where its focal point normally is completely different. And it really gives you this old-fashioned feeling. And it's awesome. You can feel it in every street and every cobblestone that you walk on. You can just feel that they wanted to keep this intact. Like, they wanted something to last here. And even though the French lost control of it to the British in 1759, it's still, the culture is still through and through. Yeah, this right here, we'll get into this a little later. This is a papal seal. Well, maybe not a papal one. I have a feeling that this is for the like Archdiocese or whatever of Quebec, whatever it's called. I'll have to clarify that. But I do know it's a marking of like the authority that is either regional or directly from, you know, like higher up. And that's why they would put this here. I'm just learning about all these symbols now, so bear with me. Hopefully I'll be able to do a great job for when the next Occult City comes out. As you can see right here, we have the steeple, and you have the mark of Isis. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is the seal of Isis that goes around the little vestibule on top. You have your 8-sided there. Sided windows very prominent here, along with your 12. 8 and 12. This is the square for the basilica. And that tall building that you saw there was the Price building. That's the first skyscraper in Canada, actually. And this is the road that we just came down. And this is the church. That gate right there was actually it's a holy door. I'll show you that later as well. But going through here, no, actually, wait, no. I'm gonna give you a little bit better. Actually, yeah. This is what's really interesting. How about this? There's this sign, and it reads out in French, "Je suis la porte," and it means "I am the gate" or "I am the door." And I find that kind of interesting because I don't really see that in quotes, kind of as in that's Jesus saying that, right? It kind of seems like you walking through that door, you are the door. I don't know. I think Jesus was on the door. I'll let you guys know later. This is the first time I actually saw all this video now, so we're just going through it. Ah, and there you go. There's that symbol. There's that symbol that you keep seeing. The one where they keep telling you it's Ave Maria. Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly what that is very, very soon. I am quite sure of what that is. I don't want to say it yet. I'm going to keep you in suspense, but there's a reason why that's everywhere in Quebec. And I know exactly what it is, and I can't wait to spell it all out. And this is inside the beast. This is your little preview. So guys, thank you so much for bearing with me. And I noticed that, you know, my channel is kind of undergoing a little bit of changes and stuff. We have a really great team, and it's becoming more evident through every trial that we go through. I'm going to be doing much more things like raids, and I'll need people that will be able to tweet it out, that will be able to set up an account through CBC, especially through CBC, as these guys are the ones that we are paying for as Canadians through our taxes for them to lie to us. You guys are so awesome for helping out in the past week, and I appreciate your patience in the past month. I know that I've been kind of losing focus a little bit, but I'm looking to get on track. It's a pretty interesting stained picture, hey? It came out really well on the camera. I have the name for that guy. He's not a huge figure. But they actually have a lot of statues of many huge figures within this basilica. This is going to be really fun. By the way, I don't want any squabbling over whether this was a black or purple dress on that guy, on that priest. It was purple. It didn't come out very well. Just so that you saw. And here we go. You know, they are right. It really does look like you're kind of going into a whale, hey? But look at this. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really interesting episode, and I just realized I can do more than 15 minutes, so I'll talk to you then.